concept of the Ramble Biltmore Forest was really based on some Olmstedian principles. Frederick Law Olmsted, in his thought process of how one could meld and integrate one's living environment with the natural environment, but also how one could come together as a community at large. Biltmore Farms and its predecessor companies, the town of Biltmore Forest, Biltmore Forest Company, have for multiple generations believed in building community was of utmost importance. We're not just simply real estate developers, we are really trying to create community. And the way we envision community is that there are 5 tenets of community development, one being education, one being healthcare, one being economic development, one is arts and craft and culture, and the last and the 5th is quality of life and environment. We take all those basic principles and include them in all of the master planned communities which we have had the pleasure of developing over 2 and 3 generations. The first being the town of Biltmore Forest. Actually was started by 5 investors. Unfortunately, were caught in the Depression in the 1930s. We inherited the land, or took over the land from them, and eventually built out the town of Biltmore Forest, which included almost 600 residential homes and home sites. When Biltmore Forest was totally complete in around the year 2000, we launched on the idea of building another community, Ramble at Biltmore Forest. And in the design principles, we wanted to hold true to Frederick Law Olmsted in his thought process of building community. Obviously, his most famous important work was Central Park in New York City, but there were other examples, the Emerald Necklace in Boston, and then some pure residential communities. One is Druid Hills in Atlanta, one is Lake Forest just north of Chicago, and Riverside just to the west of Chicago. What we thought was so important in Olmsted's work was that he used nature and he used various amenities to bring people together, people from different walks of life, of different ages, different incomes, in different sort of situations with family or empty nesters. And what we tried to create here in this special piece of property of almost 1,000 acres was a series of neighborhoods that are all interconnected. And the most important part is having people meet and greet others as they are enjoying the amenities. You will note from the site plan that we have a number of parks. We have Crescent Park, we have Long Meadow Park, and we have the Living World Center. And they're all interconnected by a series of trails, walking trails, be they paved for prams or bicycling or walking on a hard surface. And we also have more wooded nature trails, which may have wood chips or just really old forest logging roads. They're all interconnected between the various neighborhoods. Crescent Park also serves as a best management practices for our water management system, whereas it captures all the runoff from the road, Valley Springs Road in a certain section, and it then filters the water for, we are now recycling the water for our irrigation system. Really the heart and the soul, or what I refer to as the outdoor living room for the Ramble, is Long Meadow Park. In the middle of the park we have a pavilion where we have successfully hosted a number of concerts during this summer season and the prior summer. There's a basketball court, there's a playground for children, there's a formal flower garden, and then there's a multi-purpose field for soccer or pickup baseball or football, which is just adjacent to a fire pit. So the community comes together, they gather there for informal gatherings, as in picnics in the lawn, or in the cooler climates during the winter months, in the fall and early spring around the fire pit. And that is all connected to a series of trails that meander along the creek beds, primarily Dingle Creek, and connect the various neighborhoods, be it the cottages at Greensward, the section in the eastern side of the community, to those home sites and homes more centrally located around Longmeadow Park. Ultimately, the idea is to build out a community of approximately 500 to 600 residences, and all taking full advantage of the natural topography and the beautiful scenery of the Ramble. One of the major sort of built environment, if you would, in addition to Longmeadow Park and in addition to Crescent Park, is the Livingwell Center. And the Livingwell Center sort of embodies, as I refer to it, as the indoor living space of the community. There's a large room could be held for gatherings with a backdrop of a stone fireplace. There's a kitchen which can all ultimately be used for catering, or more importantly, demonstration cooking when we have classes. And we've already held one such dinner. The first inaugural American Truffle Festival was hosted here in the springtime of 2009. On the lower level is a workout facility with the latest in aerobic training and weight training equipment, and there's also a yoga studio, both indoor and a grass lawn outside. Speaking of outside, there's a saltwater swimming pool, lap pool, if you will, but it's also used for children's activities such as outdoor movies in the summer months. All of this to say gives us a building designed by Tom Kligerman of IKB in New York, which complements the outdoor surroundings and natural environment in the Ramble. We deliberately chose Tom Kligerman and his firm because we wanted to impress upon the residents that one can take modern or more contemporary architecture, and depending upon the materials that one uses, it blends in rather nicely with the surroundings. This building is walnut and bamboo floors, has natural stone, and has an inverted roof which traps the water and sends it into a sort of a capture basin before it runs off the site into another retention pond. And this building very nicely and very eloquently complements our preview center, which was the first building we constructed here in the Ramble, which was built by Jim Cutler of Cutler Anderson Associates of Seattle and the Pacific Northwest. We chose Jim for basically many of the same reasons we chose Tom Kligerman. Jim was very sensitive to the natural environment, and as a matter of fact, the building is oriented to the 19th largest oak tree in Buncombe County, and the backdrop for the oak tree is Busby Mountain, is a piece of property which we own, which rises some 1,000 feet from the valley floor. That building is also made of wood from the property, as well as stone. And in that building, we've incorporated numerous pieces of arts and craft from the local community surrounding Asheville. And so with the two buildings of the preview center and the Livingwell Center, we have our indoor community, indoor gathering spot, which naturally complements the outdoor environment. We hope that you will come and enjoy the Ramble as we do. My family lives here amongst the community, and we hope that you will come visit Asheville. Thank you.